Okay, hi everyone, how are you? Now we're gonna start with Unit 8. It's a mystery. As you know, we explained the story, but we're gonna repeat it. Listen to this carefully and then do the exercises.
Listening 68. Listen and read. What do the children find in the cave?
It's not very comfortable in here, and it's very dark. I don't like it.
Let's stay near the entrance. There's more light there.
Do you remember that time we explored a cave in France, Ed? Yes. We had to leave when Dad realised he left the map in the car.
Well, you've got a map now. Let's see where this cave is.
It's raining really hard now. Look! There's water coming through the back of the cave.
Look out! The cave wall is coming down.
Everyone stand back!
Hey! There's another cave through there.
And there's something in there. It looks like a treasure chest.
Wow! It looks ancient. Where did it come from?
It's very mysterious.
Okay, now we finished the video and then you have to do the exercises. Now we are going to page 77. We have vocabularies. The first one, ancient. Ancient, what does that mean? It means something very old. The second one we have artifact. It means an object that was made by a person. We have evidence. Evidence, facts that make you believe something is true. The fourth one, fascinating. It's an adjective, very interesting. We have investigation. It's a noun, something to try to find out what happened. And we have investigation. It's a noun, something to try to find out what happened. Mysterious. Mysterious, it's something that no one can understand it or explain it. And before last one, site, it's a place where a building used to be or where something happened. The last one we have strange. It's an adjective, unusual and difficult to understand or explain. Okay, now we have the exercises. The first one is already solved. The second one we have, they found an interesting dash in the cave. What is that word? It is artifact. Number 3, dash, history is about things that happened very long ago. It is ancient. Number 4, I think it is dash to know how people lived long ago. The dash is fascinating. It means very interesting. The fifth one, the police are doing an dash into the robbery. The dash is investigation. And you can solve the other ones. Okay, now we are going to working with words. We have these things, these verbs, we have to change them into adjectives. We add the suffix able to some verbs to make adjectives. Okay, like accept. Here we have accept. We have to make it what? Adjective. How? By adding able. Acceptable. Disable. Or we have comfort, we're gonna add able, it becomes comfortable. Okay. When a verb ends in E, we remove the E and add able, like advice, it becomes advisable. See, we removed this one and we added what? Able. Okay. We finished with this. Let's do the exercises. Number 1 is solved. Number 2, we dash people not to go climbing when the weather is bad. When we have subjects, we have to put what? Only verbs. It means we have to choose advice, not advisable, because we have subject. Number 3, our teacher gives us a reason or reasonable amount. We have as subject, so it is reasonable. No, sorry, we have verb, we have to choose reasonable with able and with the other ones. Let's go to page 78. Now we have listening. Let's listen to this.
Listening 71. Listen and read. When was the Mary Celeste found?
There was a mysterious ship called the Mary Celeste. In November 1872, the ship left New York for Italy. The captain, his wife, their daughter, and the ship's crew were on board. In December 1872, a passing ship found the Mary Celeste floating in the ocean. The captain went onto the ship. After they had climbed onto the ship, they saw there was no one there. They explored the ship and discovered that someone had taken the lifeboat and a few other things. But the ship wasn't damaged. There hadn't been a storm. What happened to the people? No one knows. It's a mystery.
Okay. Try to understand it and then I will ask you questions at school when you come back. Now let's go to the grammar. We have past perfect. What is past perfect? It's for one thing that happened in the past before another thing happened in the past. Look at these sentences. Number 1, I had painted the door yellow. We have this one, had painted. The rule is, here is the rule, had plus past participle. Okay. Number 2, they had paid for dinner themselves. Also we have had paid. But here we have regular verb, here irregular verb. How? Now we are going to explain it. Okay? Please write with me to memorize it later. Okay. We have regular verbs. Like what? Let's give examples. Number 1. I had finished my homework. Had finished past perfect. Number 2, she had cleaned her room. She had cleaned. Had cleaned is past perfect. These were what? Singular, because we have I and she. While for plural, we have they. They had worked very hard. They had worked. Okay, these were examples about regular verbs. Now we're gonna go to irregular verbs. Let's write them here. Irregular verbs. Number 1, we have an example. He had run in the marathon. Number 2, it had eaten the grass. So these are regular verbs and here are irregular verbs. Why? Because we don't have ed, so we have past participle. For example, run. The simple one, present simple, is run. The past is run, while the past participle is also run like the first one. And now we finished with irregular one also. Now we have the difference between past perfect and past simple. How do we use them in examples? Past perfect plus past simple. Okay. For example, I had brushed my teeth before I went to bed. So look at here, we have had brushed. I had brushed my teeth before I went to bed. Because we have had brushed, had plus past participle, it means this is past perfect. While in the other sentence, because we have two sentences here, the other one, before I went to bed, here we have went. It is past simple. So write down with me. Now, you know the difference between past perfect and past simple, and how do you use them in sentences? Okay, now let's go to another one. These were what? Positive ones. Now let's go to negation and question, interrogation. Okay. Okay, before we go to the other one, negative and question, let's listen to these or do these exercises about past perfect and past simple. Or let's do homework. Okay, these will be your homework. Number 3, complete the sentences and speaking. When you come back to school, we're gonna discuss that because it's speaking. Now come to page 79. We have Chip and Doctor or the Professor. What do Chip and Professor want to know? Let's listen to this.
Listening 72.
Listen carefully.
Listen and read. What do Chip and Professor want to know?
How did the Egyptians build the pyramids? How did they get all those big stones there? Had they invented trucks and trains before they built the pyramids?
No, they hadn't invented trucks and trains before they built the pyramids. I don't know how they built them, but I have an idea. This contains information on all the history of the world. Let's test it. What is the biggest pyramid in Egypt?
The answer is the Great Pyramid of Khufu.
Wow! How did the Egyptians build the pyramids?
The answer is not known.
Oh well, some things we'll never know.
Okay, we finished with this. Let's go to past perfect with negative sentences. Okay, the rule is had, okay, had with not, plus past participle. For example, number 1, she hadn't finished her job. She is subject, as you know. Hadn't is had plus not, and we have finished past participle, PP, and her job is complement or an object. Number 2, they hadn't paid for dinner. It's also as the first one, subject, hadn't, and paid is PP. It means past participle. Okay. Now we have the question 1. Or let's do the exercises of negative sentences, and then we go to question sentences. Okay. Be with me, please. Number 1 is already solved. Number 2, he was hungry because he dash not eat any breakfast. How do we change these? He was hungry because he hadn't eaten. We have not and eat. We will add had to not, hadn't, and we change eat into eaten because it's participle. Number 3, the teacher was angry because Billy hadn't done his homework. Number 4, when Billy's friend arrived, he hadn't finished his lunch. Okay, we solved until number 4, and you can do the other ones. Let's go to page 80. We have reading. This will be your homework. You can listen to this at home and then do the exercises. It's about the Nazca lines. Read it carefully, please. Come to page 81. Find the words in the interview to match the pictures and definitions. These are vocabularies about what? About the Nazca lines. You have to follow the glass. Number 1, it's a noun, a person who studies history. What do we call him? We call him historian. Number 2, it's a verb to move something to a different place because you don't need it. What do we call that? Cleared away. Number 3, the normal weather that a place has. What do we call that? Climate. Number 4, it's an adjective. Really amazing, difficult to believe. What do we call it? Incredible. Number 5 is sketch. Number 6 is figure. Number 7, soil. And number 8 is underneath. Okay. The exercises will be your homework. Listen to this one at home carefully and do it. And the other one is speaking also. Do it at home. Let's go to page 82. We have writing. How do we write this? Look at the text. What is Stonehenge? Stonehenge is a place and full of stones. A tourist information leaflet. What is leaflet? We don't have a CD here. You have to read it carefully. Leaflet is a paper full of information about a place or something like that. So you have to know these informations. At first, we write a tourist information leaflet to give information about important places to visit in our country. Let's see this one. Okay, this is leaflet. Okay, this is leaflet. At first, the first step, what do we do? In a tourist information leaflet, we include all the important information. Number 1, when it is open. Number 2, how much it costs. Number 3, where it is. So you have to know these things, and these are in the leaflet. Step number 2, we explain what the tourist attraction is and why it is important. So it means what is Stonehenge. You have to read it carefully and then you know it. Step number 3, we use it is thought and historians think to explain the history of a place. Okay. Step number 4, we finish a tourist information leaflet by giving an exciting reason why tourists should visit. You have to explain that and then you have to write down them. Here are 2 questions about this leaflet. You have to do it at home and do the exercises. Now we have the last page. It is quiz. Number 1. It's a noun. Facts that make you believe something is true. What is the word? It is evidence. Number 2. Why does the wall of the cave fall down in the story? Because of the water, it was raining, so the wall fell down. Or fell down. Number 3. Make the word into an adjective. So the word is believe. How do we change it into an adjective? We say it is believable. Number 4. Correct the sentence. After I had finished lunch, I had done my homework. So had done, it's wrong. We have to do it did. Number 5. Correct the sentence. When I arrived at the party, everyone finished all the cake. We have to add had finished. Number 6. Correct the sentence. When I get home, I realized I had left my bag on the bus. So we have to remove get and change it into got. Number 7. In which country can you find the Nazca lines? It is in Peru. Number 8. It's a noun, a person who studies history. What is the word? It is historian. Number 9. Circle the correct word. It is think or thought that Stonehenge was built 5,000 years ago. It is thought, so choose thought. Number 10. Write 2 things to include in a tourist information leaflet. You can write, for example, number 1, when it is open, and number 2, where it is. And the last one is a song about mysteries of the ancient world. You can listen to this song at home and finish.